TV Crazy Man here. In this video, we look at the hilarious use of stunt dummies on classic TV and movies, from the Three Stooges to superheroes like Batman and the Lone Ranger, and even action shows like the Wild Wild West, Mission Impossible, and lots more. Since the very early days of film, audiences have marveled at how Hollywood created their magic. Stunt dummies and mannequins used instead of stuntmen for falling scenes often disappointed film goers, but only when they noticed, that is. Let's start in the 1930s with the kings of stunt dummy use, the Three Stooges, and work our way forward. Check this out, they used a combination of stunt dummy and real stuntman. Doesn't Larry look like he's been working out a lot and then instantly loses his muscles? I guess it must have been the shock.
Hey!
Now watch this, when they cut from the fake dummies to the real Stooges, the pavement is instantly wet everywhere. When the Stooges used stunt dummies, it added to the comedy, but when they used a dummy for the Batman movie serial in '43, it didn't work nearly as well. Before that, in '41, Captain Marvel used stunt dummies much more successfully and a lot more often. They even used a mannequin to create a pretty convincing flying effect for Captain Marvel, who would later be known as Shazam. If the dummy needed to fly upwards, the dummy would be slid backwards, and then they would reverse the film so that it would look like it was flying up. It does work pretty well in most scenes. I think the only thing that gives it away in some cases is when they get the camera a little too close. Curly thinks he can milk a bull, which he gets him knocked over a fence. When Curly gets thrown over the fence the first time, you can see a hand throwing a stunt dummy, which is supposed to be Curly. In Fiddler's Street from 1948, the Stooges try to shoe a mule, and they get kicked over a balcony.
What?
But it actually kind of looks like they just sort of ran and threw themselves over the balcony. I wonder if it was the Three Stooges that created the concept of the crash test dummy. Here's one from Love at First Bite. Superman's very first episode, starring George Reeves, had a dummy moment that really stood out. Superman saves a man that's falling to his doom. Man's played by Dabbs Greer, who played on The Lost and Prairie as the preacher. Here's one from The Lone Ranger in the City of Gold from 1958. Of course, at least he didn't scream like a girl before turning into a falling dummy like this guy from episode 2 of The Lone Ranger. It is a little confusing as to why they would dub in a woman screaming for this dude. Just a quick side note, if you're a Lone Ranger fan, you will definitely want to check out the remastered Season 5 filmed in color. I've been watching it on Prime and it looks like you're looking through a time portal into the Old West. The canyons and the western backgrounds are just amazing to watch. Whatever they did, the quality of the image has never been better, and it looks like a brand new TV show. Check out this dummy from Goof on the Roof from 1953.
You imbecile, leave that alone and come down here! How do you like that guy, huh?
They sped up the film so it looked more convincing. Remember when the Three Stooges met Hercules in 1962?
Hey! Cut that out! Let go, you double-headed mop!
It just lasts for a second, but you can clearly see the Cyclops is lifting a doll of Mo. Okay, I probably shouldn't say doll, I should say action figure of Mo. Now here's one from the Beverly Hillbillies.
Howdy, pal.
What you got there?
Stranger?
There is something mighty strange about that, stranger. And it's not polite to call somebody a dummy, but in this case...
Figured he might be a revenue.
He ain't no revenue.
Then can I keep it?
I guess Ellie just has a powerful effect on men. On this episode of Get Smart, guest star Carol Burnett is shot into the air via an ejection seat. But in order to make the illusion work, they had to use a fake Carol. Major Healy is replaced by a very obvious stunt dummy for this scene in I Dream of Jeannie. They also used to use dolls a lot for scenes where one of the characters is shrunk down by magic. On the first episode of Mission Impossible, the original TV series, they used fake hands. No full dummy needed for that one.
This tape will self-destruct in 5 seconds.
In the very first mission, Martin Landau, who plays an agent and a bad guy, slams the door on the hands of Terry Cargo, played by Wally Cox. You may remember him as the voice of Underdog.
There's no need to fear, Underdog is here.
And this quick scene looks a little rough at first, but it's really not.
They're broken.
On the episode, Old Man Out Part 2, Martin Landau's character, Rollin, must carry an old man down a building on a wire, where it's clear a stuntman and a dummy take over for the actual stunt. In this scene, Barney's fighting off a bad guy near a bear pit. Sometimes when actors had to interact with bears back then, they would put a guy in a bear suit. But this time they did a fake out, so to speak, and used a fake man for when the bad guy gets thrown into the pit with the bear. Now just imagine if you were the bear and a fake man landed right next to you out of nowhere. In the episode, The Astrologer, a dummy is ejected from an aircraft to fool some bad guys. But in reality, they were using a real man pretending to be a dummy, and they weren't, of course, in the air. You can see the mattress the actor lands on when you slow it way down. This is kind of ironic, I guess you'd say, as they tended to use dummies to replace humans for many stunts back in the day, and in this case, they completely reversed it. The Wild Wild West was known for its over-the-top stunts that once put its star, Robert Conrad, in the hospital. But for this scene, a stunt dummy was used. But the funny thing is, the dummy did not match the man West was fighting at all. You see, Jim West is fighting this guy, who's clearly not an Indian. But when he falls into a ravine, he instantly becomes a dummy made up to look like an American Indian. I mean, I know, I just don't have the words. Kind of leaves you speechless, doesn't it? On the episode, The Night of the Raven, the Wild Wild West goes full sci-fi when Jim West is shrunk down to doll size.
Hi, Artie. What's new?
In the distant shots, he literally was a doll.
All world.
Jim West is placed in a coffin the size of a small trailer, even though it seems a lot smaller than that from this shot. He is sent down this chute to a watery grave, which looks mistakenly a lot like the inside of a small fish tank. Then he pulls out some cool James Bond tools from his boot and escapes while instantly turning into the Barbie doll Ken, before swimming off to make his escape. You know, this would have been a good time to plug a new Jim West action figure.
Things aren't always what they seem to be.
In the episode Not Yet He Ain't, the Penguin has stolen the Batmobile and Batman is in hot pursuit. But when he ejects the Penguin's men from his bat cycle, you can tell very easily it's dummies that get ejected and not men. The rat's away, the mice will play. Batman and Robin are captured by the Riddler and attached to giant wheels to which the Riddler intends to spin them to death. But either he's spinning them so fast Robin has gotten extreme cellulite, or Robin has actually been metamorphosized into a non-living dummy because Robin doesn't look quite the same anymore, or Batman for that matter. Thankfully, the effect was only temporary, as when Batman and Robin escape, they are completely back to normal again. This one is from the 70s. Captain Marvel saves a boy who is actually a fake dummy. Before fake, phony CGI animals were all the rage, back in the 80s, Knight Rider jumped over a plastic dummy, which I think was a load of bull. Now these days stunt dummies aren't used as much obviously, but they do still use them. A lot more realistic these days though. Stooges fans, check out the Three Stooges playlist for lots of fun facts, goose, and more. And animation fans, check out this video from my other channel, Freddy Cat Cartoons, featuring the Three Stooges as superheroes. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Have a great day.